Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on today's video. This is week 3 of our dirt super late model build from a pretty much bare frame all the way up to a running car. More detail work this week than anything, but we got a couple of big boxes checked. Check it out.
Don't forget to check out cool race car stuff, merchandise on our website, fletch95.com, where we also have other team merch, team tees, as well as limited stock on last year's t-shirts. So be sure to check that out, fletch95.com.
That's my hat straight because it certainly does not feel like it.
Let's see. You look superb. Ready for the runway.
Okay, so what we're doing today is we're pre-fitting our rear rotors and brake caliper assemblies. It requires on the back of a dirt late model, this aluminum tube axle, that the brake caliper clamp that clamps onto this is actually pinned with 2 bolts so it can't rotate under braking force. To do the first mock-up, we're going to use the old rear end that has this axle tube, same size axle tube. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this TWM mount on. It'll fit like that. You have these bolts here that will go in, and then you'll drill and tap the axle for that thread, and then those go in and lock to prevent the rotation. After this is on, we will mount a radial bracket. This is for a flanged caliper, which a lot of the guys run, most of them run. We're going to be running a radial caliper, and the difference is that when the caliper is bolted up in a standard fashion, it's bolted like this. When the caliper is bolted on a radial fashion, it goes into the caliper like that, and so it's loaded in the direction of rotation, where when it's on a flange and you step on the brakes, the load goes a little sideways. Now, these are heavy duty brackets, so that's probably not a major concern, but this is the way we're going to go. This is the brake system that we've been working with Pro Systems on. So we're going to go ahead and fit some of this up. To start with, now that our rotor is mocked on here, this is not necessarily the rotor for this corner of the car. I just took one out of the box so we can get started. So we're going to take this. You have a rear seal and a bearing in there. You want to watch out not to dink those threads on the end. Set that up there like that. You can't see me do this now, but we'll put a bearing in there and a washer, and we'll spin our nut down. Running straight. You want to make sure your rotor's not moving. The rotor's running good and true. So that's roughed on there. Now what we would do is fit the caliper over the rotor and see how that all lines up, and it actually looks pretty good. Add this bracket on, and again, this is our old axle tube, so we're not going to permanently mount this. What you want is you want this in a position where the rotor is equal distance to either side of the caliper. So like I said, the caliper needs to run, the rotor needs to run in the center line of the caliper.
Dad says he's done recording, but he has no clue how to turn the camera on or off. Looks pretty cool though. I'll give you guys a look at the other side. It is up close. Give you guys a little bit of a closer look. Sounds like Dad is pretty happy. Show this side with the stop tech.
Got the fuel cell taken apart to mount the fuel cell cage. So the bottom of the fuel cell can right here has holes in it where the can bolts together, and so there's a cage that goes underneath it, and then that cage mounts to 2 tabs in the race car. Here's the bladder. Here's what that looks like out of the can itself. And then here is what those tabs look like in the race car. There's a forward set up there on a forward tube, and then back here. Since we've got the fuel cell apart, we can take a look at what goes on underneath the fill plate, which is right here. There's the gasket for the fill plate. Here is the fuel pickup, so that'll go in the bottom right hand corner of the fuel cell. can see it's got little feet there to stand off, and so that it can get fuel to wrap around the corner easily. So the pickup runs up through here and then into this fitting here in the plate. This is the return fitting right here. Here is that dipstick. Here is the vent, and that has a check ball in it. Kind of see the check ball in there. And then here is that tip over kind of piece right here that'll block fuel from spilling out should the car get upside down. Okay, throw a washer on this bolt. I think we need to go to the diagonal corner.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. All right, cell is in. You can see it's mounted in the chassis and mounted in the cage, and it also has the safety straps on there. And so now we've got a good location for where our cap is, and we can put our access panel in the deck.
Not gonna be perfect, but that's okay. Now we know somewhat like that. Wow, that is perfectly 10 inches. Just do a spat up sound. You
No, it won't even make it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, a little update. Getting ready to put our window in. Got our hinge just clecoed on. These things are super cool. Make sure everything looks correct before we start cutting any holes. So now, of course, the clecos are going to hit each other, but we can see that this is going to work as intended. Gonna get this little Zeus tool here. Bingo, bango, bongo. So you can see how these work from the backside here. They just twist around this spring, and now the door, the access panel, cannot be opened. Then to open it up, we just take our flathead or our Zeus tool, pop it open like that, and now it opens. All right, panel's finished. Obviously the fuel cell's out. Window's all done. Just have a giant mess to clean up under here. The nibbler tool is pretty cool, but it leaves all these little half moon bits. And yeah, they hurt really, really, really bad when you lay down on them. So time for a good sweeping.
Seat is pretty much mounted. I'm waiting to make a couple of spacers. I just want to check a couple things as far as belt mounting goes before I actually make the spacer. But the seat is pretty much mounted, so that's pretty much there. That was a big That one took a long time. We probably got a couple of days in mounting the seat the way that I like it. I'm pretty picky about how to do that. Quite a bit of work on mounting the seat, getting the steering position where I want it, the pedals where I like them. Now that the seat is pretty much positioned, I can pull the pedals back out and then install my master cylinders and start getting the lines route for the brake lines. So that'll take a little bit of time to get that done. Moment, oil tank mounting. We did quite a bit of work on mounting the oil tank. So this is where we wound up with it. We tried to get it back here, but with the size of our oil tank and the shape of it, we just couldn't quite get it to work like we wanted. This oil tank is not a dirt late model tank. There's not a whole lot of difference in terms of the actual working of the tank. It's just like a size and shape thing. This is actually out of a NASCAR Xfinity car, and I bought it at auction. These tanks are there's a lot of work that goes into it. They're aluminum, they're baffled, they have the pickups, there's a lot of work that goes into them. So as a result, they're expensive. I bought this one at auction. They're a lot cheaper when you buy them at the NASCAR auctions. So we're making do with what we've got here, and it's a little bit awkward, but it does work out. Thanks for clicking on today's video. This week was a lot of detail work, but we got a couple of big things checked off. Next week we'll be putting the rear end together, getting it all assembled, as well as the bird cages, the hubs, all that kind of stuff. So we've got a big project coming up to get that done, and then getting the drive shaft sorted and stuff like that. If you like this video, make sure to leave us a comment, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Check out our website and Patreon page for exclusive content and merch, and we will see you on the next one coming up in about a week.